Gigi, there's this new trend where you're listening to YouTubes or podcasts of people who become your friends because we're lonely. Literally, I've been sitting here waiting for you to come on, listening to your books and baking. You were featuring Sally, and I was like, your sister, you seem like you're just having the best time. I want to be your friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I've changed it. We've moved from books to baking to Let's Go Live as an outlet to meet other authors because I feel like indie authors don't necessarily get the exposure that they deserve. And there's some really great authors out there. So I go live every Thursday at 7 and just meet people where they're at in their homes on their schedule. And you can dial in and listen. And it's so much fun.
I love that idea. Grab a glass of wine, listen to you guys speak about how you write these incredible stories and the novel that you've got now. I mean, whoo, you are focused
Yeah.
on an issue that is a hot topic right now, violence. I mean, there's absolutely incredible. Would you tell us about this book and why you chose this subject matter?
So the name of the book is Coyote, and it deals with trafficking. And as you
Mm.
know, Houston is the number one trafficked
Yes, ma'am.
capital in the US, unfortunately. And there's a lot of women issues that I try to advance on my platform. I mean, as you know, we have built our careers on the backs of those pioneer women that have gone before us. And so part of the awareness and outreach is to write stories from the viewpoint of women that and how they're impacted. I know that the numbers are staggering when it comes to trafficking, and it is so tragic. And I sometimes feel that we don't necessarily have the exposure, the awareness, or the resources for these types of topics for the victims. So in the back of my book, I do have all the hotlines listed because if you know of someone, both male and female, children the same, I want people to reach out and to be aware and get them help.
There is this the rodeo is going on right now, and the calf scramble I love to be a part of. And in case you didn't know, a lot of people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes with these kids. There's a several hour long meeting. They have motivational speakers, and then there's the HPD posse. And this goes back like almost 100 years, the posse. And one of the officers who dedicates his time to these kids is in the sex trafficking arena of law enforcement. And I look at him and I'm like, may God bless you. Because
sure.
what his life must be like, what he sees that you can't unsee, you know? So
It's the
I mean,
worst.
you had to do research. I mean, do you talk to victims? How did you come up with the words, the experiences, the topic in your novel? Just from reading the newspaper? Where do you get your information to make it lifelike?
So my church, good question. My church does outreach. And so it's outreach to many ministries. And one of those are domestic violence victims, sexually trafficked victims. And it is tragic. I think we underestimate people's trauma. We expect people to just live on with it, to not let it impact their lives, but it becomes a sort of a grief that we carry with us. And so I think people compare their traumas to those of others and they minimize it. And this is no way that this should be minimized in any sort of way. Make sure the resources are given to the women that need it. So I did a lot of research with my church and that ministry to understand what it is like.
Was there something that your church said, maybe a service that you thought, you know what, I've got to get involved because all of us want to get involved some way, but we don't, it's like the dark web. We don't know how to get involved. What do we do?
Yeah. And that's where I think when we talk about awareness, I mean, when you really start to watch your circle of influence, your friends, how they interact with their own children, who your children are hanging out with.
Yes.
The saddest thing I did find out is that, and this is just my own naivete, is that women are recruiting women into this lifestyle, into this trafficking. And that is so horrible. There was a gentleman that I spoke to, and he was younger. He was a 15-year-old boy. And like this 19-year-old girl, we all have been there, it's the high school crush. And she got him into it. And it's so as parents, we guard our children from the physical evils, if you will. But it's the cyber, it's their connection, it's who they're talking to online, it's who their circle of influence is too. And to hear that teenagers are recruiting other teenagers is just deplorable.
Okay, Gigi, how about this? There was an article in the paper that a teacher was grooming a 14-year-old student.
Oh,
She
no.
started out with sending, hey, you want to see this? And then just bombarded him with pictures. I mean, that's like a person, I want to sit down and talk to that person and be like, what are you thinking? You're a teacher with a
Trusted.
14-year-old. I've got 4 boys. If anyone ever did that when my boys were young, and because that can ruin their lives.
Yes.
People don't even realize it. They might think, oh, it's the coolest thing that the teacher's paying attention to me. No, it messes these kids up so badly.
It does. And these are our trusted leaders, police
Yes.
officers, firemen, principals, teachers. We should hold them to a higher standard because they are the ones that are there to protect our children when we're at work, when we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think I have a son and I have a daughter, and it follows gender lines. Like it can happen to men, or if a woman preys on a boy, it's kind of this old rite of passage, or you should be honored. And I'm like, no, there's no line.
Yeah. I think that's something maybe the media made us believe was true. And then when you actually talk to these victims and talk to their parents, no, the guilt, I mean, it's messed up what it does. Now, you focused on this in Coyote. Have you done other books that kind of are a really heavy topic that you kind of use your skills to teach people?
I do. So my next book is called Tomlin. It releases March 23rd, so just a couple weeks out. And that book deals with runaway and exploited children.
Wow.
And how she ran away from a situation where the mom was addicted to drugs and there was an abusive boyfriend, into being in with a truck driver. And so kind of getting into the women that, prostitution there too. So I do like to write about dark themes. I do like to write about strong female women, but also the challenges that we face as women. So that book is also very dark. There's content warnings on my website. I don't want anyone to be surprised. I don't want anyone to trigger their trauma either. I'm very respectful of that. And so I try to put it everywhere to let you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, that's amazing, Gigi. A lot of people love these crime podcasts. How about reading a book for a change and learn about what's going on right in our own backyards? And where can people find you? Where can we find your live, your podcast, your books?
So my name, GiGi Meier, GiGiMeier.com. I'm on Instagram at GiGi Meier Media. I'm on TikTok, GiGi Meier Media, YouTube, GiGi Meier. So I try to be everywhere, promoting, supporting women, supporting other authors, because this is what I love. This is what I love to do, my new career.
I love it so much. What advice would you give to budding women who want to be authors? It's a tough job.
It is, but I truly believe that we are meant to follow our dreams. I mean, gosh, you don't want to get to the end of your life and die with your music inside. I think that's the challenging part, is to figure out what are we meant to do, but dive in, write, read, reach out to people, talk. I mean, that's the beautiful side of social media, is that we can connect with anyone, anywhere in the world. I have now writer friends in Germany and Singapore, London. It's wonderful. I'm just going to say,
I'm going to use your quote. You don't want to die with, what did you say? You don't want to die with your music inside.
Right. No,
I love that. I love it.
And think about it, Dana, so many of us put off our dreams. When I get married, when I get the house, when I have kids, when I get promoted, when I get that job. Sometimes the wins never come. And then you get to the end of your life and you're like, what was this all for? That's not what was meant to be.
That is excellent, Gigi. A delight to talk to you. I'm glad you listen to Sunny.
I love it.
I see through this, I get to meet you and your books, and I can't wait to sit and just listen to you guys do live stuff and talk to authors. We can all join in, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Every Thursday I'm on Instagram, 7 p.m. Central, talking with authors. I'm booked out until June. All indie authors, just talking about their craft, how they started, where they can find them, what's coming up next. We do a rapid fire. So it's just meant to be fun. And you're right. You don't have to get a babysitter. You don't have to get dolled up. You don't have to spend any money. You just bring your glass of wine and show up. Ask questions, get involved.